Welcome to Poetry and Me Live. Vibes, I'm liking this crowd. Yes, guys. So let's jump into our next featured artist. Okay, so I came across him at Underground Bars. Shout out to Underground Bars. And his poem, which he will be doing today, is insane. I don't know how else to describe it. I need to get more adjectives. Insane. I feel like it proper like you just you get gripped so quickly, like one of those artists that are very captivating. He is also, let me make sure I get this right, a Barbican Young Poet. So we're going to find out a little bit more about that process and what that means. So please, Poetry and Me family, give it up for Just Ore, please. Woo!
Hey,
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. Shall we jump into the first one straight away, or what would you like to
You
do?
can just, you're the boss. You're the boss.
Yeah, let's just jump straight into the first one. What's it called?
This is called Love Language. And yeah, I've never performed sitting down before, so this is gonna.
Or you can stand up if you like, whatever you feel.
Okay, yeah, I feel like I'm gonna stand up. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you want help with the mic stand?
No, I'm a mic stand specialist.
Oi, oi.
Okay, guys. So this is Love Language. It's a poem for people who have had sex before, and had trauma before, and maybe both at the same time.
This
Okay.
is a safe space.
Where I come from, trauma is our love language. We skip English to rap over beats because we love language. If I told you I emotionally self-harm, you look at me funny like you ain't never loved anguish. Like you never watched a film you knew would make you cry. Like you ain't never done some shit you kind of hoped would make you die. Inside, we quickly learn to cage our feelings. Only speak when spoken to. Only heal when spoken for. Never let that heart loose to the cuff of your sleeve. Keep that beat in your Achilles. Far away from your thinking chasm. We all learn to think in chasms, hearing light echoes from dark places. Moments where words can't reach, to each their own. Young kings yet to teach their throne where their heart is. If you could have seen the things I've seen in my headphones, where I lock myself ablaze, you would get your head blown. In these beats I've built my cage. I clap cheeks to float away, because trauma is my love language. Good sex and trauma are quite similar. When you feel them, you don't really feel much else. Good sex is somewhere to escape to, while with trauma, everything escapes you. Like trauma, sex is best when it's with someone you can relate to. Women with abandonment issues and daddy ones too. Yin to my yang, those are my favorite ones to run through. The ones who fuck you like they're running from themselves. I can spot them a mile off because I'm running from myself. When we come together, we make an emptiness sandwich. We meant for it to be meaningless, but every time we moan our names, we get lost in the translation of this love language. Bandage for the hollowed holes. I feel most complete when I'm swallowed whole. Even though I know on the way back I'll be followed home by demons tone deaf to my wallowed soul. If I stop feeling warmth, goes to say I'll start feeling cold in my alone. Time to time is enough though. If you bring too much heat, I'll smoke. So we can be in love every other month, because I'm bilingual. Sometimes I want to be kissed and lose myself in the abyss of a person who's never been given a reason not to love themselves. That sure of self is assuring me. All that self-doubt is kind of boring me. But then again, caught in cutthroat, caught in peddling hope, I could never sell enough though. Loving me because their daddies wouldn't love them back. And that love is sweet because my mummy dipped my heart in black. Nothing like eye contact between two young adults who are seeing things at 3, illegal to view on screens if they weren't 18. Love language. I'm in love with broken girls who see me as engine for their self-esteem, train their demons to chill as long as I'm breathing, down the napes of their necks, lips kiss on their chest, you know, crossed out a heart in hopes I die, and fly to the other with inside my bride, love language. Children of unfortunate circumstances who revel in toxic love because we love anguish. We pack lunch and emptiness sandwich, could never afford enough bandage for our hollowed holes, subconsciously seek those hurting in Achilles, heart worn above our furrowed souls. And that's it.
Word, 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 word. Oh my God. I feel like it would be so silly of me not to ask this first question.
Okay. Our first question.
What is your love language?
You know, yeah, I don't know. I don't really believe in it.
You don't believe in it. Please, can we unpack that?
I just don't think that some
Do you
person.
want to pull the mic a bit closer to you?
Okay, I do.
Thank you so much.
I just don't think that some person somewhere in the world has made this list of 6 things, and all 8 billion of us are like, yeah, that's me, that's me, that's me. I think loads of people. I think people have love languages, but this whole idea that there's 6,
5.
5. See, I don't believe in it.
Sorry.
yeah, I just think it's a bit more. I think it simplifies it too much.
Got you. Fair enough. Fair enough. That's your opinion is valid.
Mm.
Mine is words of affirmation and oh my days. Okay. So so as I said when I introduced you,
Mm.
you are a Barbican young poet.
Mm.
Please. I feel like that's a thing, you know what I mean? Like it's not everybody's a Barbican young poet. So please
Yeah.
tell us about that. What was the process like? What's it been like?
Um, it was. I would say I'm Barbican Young Poet alum now. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, you do it for a year.
Mm-hmm.
You have to apply.
Yep.
Loads of people applied. About 20 of us got it.
Mm-hmm.
Every year, about 20 people get it. And yeah, you go to the Barbican. I don't know if his name's Gabriel. No, sorry, his name's not Gabriel. Wow, don't ever show him this video because his name
I hope he does not.
his name is. Wow, I'll come back to you on his name.
It's okay, no.
But
He's out
anyway,
there. He knows
he's out there.
he
He's out
knows
there.
who he is.
He's out there.
Yeah.
So his surname is Sam LaRose. I remember his surname. Jacob Sam LaRose. See.
It's okay.
Anyway, so he is like he's just the guy. He's like the Nick Fury of poetry.
Got
So
you.
you every week you link up, you come, you discuss poetry, you share poetry, then you have a big showcase at the Barbican at the end of the year. And yeah, so that was what I did for a
And
year.
how was the showcase for you?
Showcase was very interesting
Yes.
because I only write about really personal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I write about my family a lot.
Yeah.
And then the poems that were selected for me to perform were about my mum. And my mum was in the crowd. Like every person in my family was in the crowd. And I was like, wow, I would rather perform to like 20 million people than to you guys right now.
Got you.
So, but it was a good experience.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And what was your mum's feedback? Did she like it?
Yeah, she liked it. She didn't know it was going to be about her, so she was a bit shocked.
Yeah.
But yeah, she liked it.
Amazing. And I guess how many people did you perform to? Did you say?
I mean, I would have preferred if it was 20 million people and not my family.
Okay, got you.
But maybe it was a couple hundred people.
Okay. And what would you say has been your favorite performance so far?
The first time I performed the last poem I'm about to perform.
The poem
That you
part
saw.
2.
Yeah.
Got you. It's actually like my favorite one of yours. Like
Thank you.
double tap. Really like it.
Love that.
Also, okay. And okay, so there's a line in the last poem which is like I love language, and I just wanted to ask, what does language mean to you?
Well, what I was getting at in that line is basically no spoilers. Language is literally what we speak with, but that I was getting at that my mum taught me. I'm speaking in the words that my mum taught me.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what problem I might have with my mum
Mm-hmm.
or something I didn't like that she said, I still love that I'm speaking in this language that mum gave me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And would that be like your mother tongue?
English, yeah.
Okay, got you. That's all right. Cool. Amazing. And you mentioned that you write about your feelings a lot. Would you say that like poetry is like an avenue of therapy for you? How did you come to find that that's a way that you can express your feelings?
English in school, I would say that's why I got into poetry. But I don't know if anyone has Broken Pen, but I was at his, wow, man, I'm not remembering any names today, Voices in Power the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about this notion that poetry is therapy. And he's like, yeah, but just writing stuff to yourself for only yourself to read, it's not really therapy, is it? It's a bit toxic.
Oh, is it?
Well, a therapist, you're talking to someone, you get a second opinion, you're gonna be like, yeah, you're spitting, bro, and you could be moving mad. So
that's very true. Actually, that's a very good point.
I'm leaning away from thinking it's therapy, but it is cathartic to express myself.
Okay, that's beautiful. I guess that's a nice way to segment into the next one, which is
everything.
Everything. And tell us a little bit about how we got to everything. You can do this stood up. It's okay.
Okay, cool.
You can do whatever you like. This stage, as much as it is my stage, it's also your stage.
Okay, so everything is anyone in the room ever been in love before?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Woo!
Okay. Does all the people who have been in love, do any of you still speak to the person you were in love with?
No.
This is kind of about that. How you can be in love with someone and now you just don't speak at all.
Speak.
But you don't, I don't know, space in that in your heart, it never really goes, you know? So, yeah, so I write about love a lot. Trauma. Anyway, everything reminds me of you, and everything reminds me of when everything was always of you, and everything was always us two, everything was always with them. She's a bit of me, made from my rib. Fits like a bib. She was made for the kid. We had that internet love. She was page, I would sit. She would lay, I would sit. She was bleep, I was fit. I would catch her and stitch. The Lilo tongue, witch, wicked with it. Don't know why I stick with it, stuck with it, don't snitch with it, but I'm Quidditch and she's Viddit's her heart pitch black. And I'm pro Blark, so I'm sitting chilling on my sofa and so far. It's raining season, I got no arc. Metal Sonic, we were moving so fast. Then in general, Sonic with the Chaos Emerald, we were moving slow fast. In the first place, we were chilling first base, barely second. If it's clocks, never second, always six. My hands above yours. We were praying, of course, for third and fourth. But at no, it's already like you heard my thoughts. So back to second, took a second. It's more like you heard my thoughts. Manipulate my love, you turn it weapon. I'm big on destiny. I'm big on destiny. It's a little fate, and I hate to say, use a little fake. Where you instigate, then you dissipate, then complain when I replicate and emulate what you have to say. Say the same. Wait on page, we fade away, but now it's awkward because one look from you is still my Horcrux. I feel cornered, moving forward. Everything reminds me of you, and everything reminds me of when everything was always of you, and everything was always us two. Everything was always with them. Girl, you got me looking at your boyfriend like, I wish I had a girl like yours. I had a girl like yours. She was just like yours. Now the girl's like yours. We were meant to be together, fought with these like yours and core. I was ready and she wasn't. Then she was ready, I was fucking about. Then I'm ready now, she's fucking with me. I was Teddy, she was Faye. Pushing me away, I get no play for days. Now I'm away for days in some ways, yo. You knew what no blessing. Distance got us stressing, got me messing with this other babe. Cause girl gave me no play, like say I couldn't tell her. On my mother girl, I got other girls. I like to suck and swirl, love to uck and curl, but I'm trying to give my all to you. So tell me what's a boy to do with all the boys been through. He tells me that I'm toxic. I said, baby, I've been poisoned too. I could poison you. Everything reminds me of that summer. First time I met you and First time I melt you to butter. First time I read you from cover to close. I never cover my nose and taught you. It's awkward because awkward still makes me think of you. Awkward because forward still brings me back to you. Girl, I got hooked twice. I've loved you since 16. So really make a sick team. Got the balls in your court, will back to you. Everything reminds me of you, and everything reminds me of when everything was always of you, and everything was always us two, everything was always with them. My gift of the gab was a curse when I spoke. Evoked you out your genes, evoked you with these quotes. Our first kiss was cursive. Slow as oats, it was just how I imagined it. You were just how I imagined you. Yet I've always been sad, but you turned me imagine blue. It was such an honor to imagine you. But more than butterflies, you would give me magic zoos. But back to them jeans I talked you out of. I was smooth, call me God, Elohim, my synonym. You read it and edit, you made me more every day, but to this day I regret it. Like maybe we should have dead it. Because you were saving you for him. And I could only think of me and what you would look like out them jeans. When I got it was a thing from my dreams, yeah, the sex was God. But you were second P to my pot. And we were always even if odds stacked against us. You were my yellow bricks, no Tetras. Then you found out about somebody I'd had sex with. Shit. You turned Bellatrix at breakfast. But we got past that. But feelings always mix up, we part that. Yeah, I kept it under wraps, I had dark days. And even time to time when we had part ways after that decision, you were still the light at the end of my tunnel vision. Everything reminds me of you. And everything reminds me of when everything was always with you, and everything was always us two. Everything was always good then. Okay, maybe not everything. But father's wheels in the bus go. I wasn't busting no bus jokes when I was talking wedding rings, big house, 4 kids, and the bedding king. But for now, we were cool running into sleds and ting. On the low, we just slide. And if you were landing from skies, I would lock my feelings and my demons up inside. And I meet you at gate 8, like we just guys, the skies in our glow. I would act like I was cool with her hoes. No need to oppose. I've got rows of my own, but for her, I was open, invest, done with the rest. Put that on my life, on my heart, on my rest. Now I got this pain on my chest, closing any joy I had left. I shouldn't be a shock that I stayed. I told her I would meet her at gate 8. Till part do us death. It was circles on our lover's boat. No point to our relationship. Ask Adele, how do lovers cope? Once she got the pavement, she said lovers don't, lovers dig. But we was kids amid when we would fall asleep on the phone, long before I went to your home. Then you would wake up first, then I would wake up thirst for a drip of you, purse every bit of you, save all that change, and I'll be setting fire to the flame. Everything reminds me of you, and everything reminds me of when. When everything was always with you, and everything was always us two. Everything was always good then.
One time for the one time. Wow.
Mm.
It's the rhythm. It's the bobs. Do you know when you write? Do you have like Do you write with the rhythm in your head? Like, what was your process like?
Okay, I had a little cheat code on that one because that one is definitely a song. I'm definitely rapping.
Okay.
So that's why there's such a rhythm because it originally was to a beat.
It was to a beat.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is to a beat.
Yeah.
There is a song out there in the stratosphere somewhere yet to.
Where can we hear it?
It's in the stratosphere. When it comes down to the atmosphere, I'll tell you.
Got you. Well, we follow you now because look at that. We follow you now.
Definitely,
So
definitely.
we'll definitely be on the lookout for that song.
Okay, you should
Oh
be.
my days. Okay. So when when did you write your first poem, would you say?
That I remember, I had a poem in an anthology when I was in year 2. So I was,
Is it like published?
yeah.
Oh wow.
But I mean, I think it was for kids, you know. It was like,
But still to be published in year 2.
okay,
Because how many people entered the competition in year 2?
I don't know.
And how many people were published? Not everybody got published.
Probably.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
And do you remember what it was about?
It was like about the elements or something. I don't know. My mom's got it, obviously.
Okay.
And my sister actually performed it for her year 6 talent show.
That's very sweet.
Yeah,
That
a
is
little full circle moment.
very, very sweet. And how would you say like your poetic journey has like transformed through from year 2 till now?
I just used to write in English.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd write once a year whenever we done Shakespeare for English. And then year 10, we got an English teacher. Her name was Miss Hall. Shout out to Miss Hall. I've got some of my boys in the back. You know Miss Hall. She is one of the most amazing teachers on the planet. And she got me into sonnets. And I was like, yo, rhyme schemes. Yo, okay. So I started writing sonnets. And then when I went to uni, one of my lecturers, he was like, yo, this is so good, you should share it. So I was like, share it. So I used to put it on Tumblr, just written stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I used to talk to this girl, one of the girls in the poem I just done. I used to send her poems and stuff. And I said I performed for the first time in like 2015 at a Flow show. So anyone's been to Flow Vortex? That was my first performance. And now I'm a Flow poet, so a little full circle moment.
Yes.
Used to listen to Poetry on my auntie's Walkman, and now
Look at that. Very full circle.
So, but yeah, I wasn't really performing too tough, like once a year maybe. But 2018, I was going for it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's when you went like, I'm gonna do this like properly.
I would say that's what I've been doing. As I'm doing it now, it started 2018.
Okay. Well, thank you for that because we love hearing it live. Do we not love hearing him live? Yes, for real, for real.
You're welcome.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so next poem.
Next poem, yeah.
Because I feel like I might have rushed the middle just so we can get to this bit.
Okay.
Because this poem is actually like my favorite. Oh my god, I've already said that. So let's jump into it. What inspired it? How did we get here? What's it called?
Okay, so this is called Love Language Part 2.
Part 2.
So basically, when I wrote Part 1, I was like, okay, I haven't really spoken about this love language stuff, like the ones everyone knows. So like a little verse, little 40 seconds to add to the end of it, blah, blah, blah. And I started writing, and I was like, yo, I've got a lot to say, you know? So I ended up writing this poem. So I explored the concept more. So yeah, that's how it came about.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. Go for it.
Okay. So I'd like to say, guys, I don't really believe in trigger warnings because I don't think you should have come here if you didn't want to get hit in your chest.
Crazy.
But
I always say this is a safe space.
It's not the most fun poem. Might make you remember some things.
Okay. Thought provoking.
So yeah, that one. Okay. Where I'm from, we drip from fresh kicks. That's hearts on our ankles. Never know who might tug, so only keep our ice on sleeves. Always thankful for the opportunity to hide high-rise histories behind dark clothes. Love language. We come from parents who seldom forgot to inflict the wound, but rarely remembered to afford the bandage. But words first learned in my mother's voice, I still love language. Pain
Mm.
feels the same on my toes. Pain feels the same in my fingers. Fidgets different through my toes. Flick of the wrist might have chose the road, but often hereditary habits pick the path. We come from shattered glass and shit. Always in pieces when we spend our time. Peppered all over our past and shit. We know they'll make us cry, but we still never pass in flicks. Coming from passing quick. Now we rehearse our pain on stages, waiting for our echoes to pass them clicks. Love language.
Mm.
She asked me if mine is quality time, as if I planned this. Her spine at just past 9, just about obtuse. Hands on fours at 4 at 8. Me lining action up and down her hypotenuse. Then her period's late. Great. Flashbacks to Tony Tiger. I would only have frosties at my dad's. It's mad car. I was my Mars late period. Maybe my life was my parents' trap. And then that trap grew to a boy. At no more than 6. Stood on the lonely side of our bathroom door. Her sat somewhere on the other side of it. Almost felt like visitation, as if she was in for a long bid. And maybe I was its beginning. And that windowless room with crack in its sink was the most freedom she could afford. Her escape from the closed clauses of our circumstances. Bathroom door, locked like full stop. Fixed in time like judges decree. Alone yet a meter away. I couldn't even watch. Door served as a brick wall over the bay, 27 to the rest of her life. I felt trapped too. 1994 to the rest of mine. I guess we were both looking at that wood in that frame. That full stop from different sentences. Love language. She said love is nothing without trust. I tugged her sleeve as I agreed. So she asked if it's physical touch. I told her physicals must, even if relationships jaded. Ain't no ifs, buts, well, maybe my parents taking turns to be concepts. Spectres on respective weekends or weekdays isn't completely unrelated. Like my dad didn't exist on Wednesdays, unless it was summer. And my mum didn't exist on Saturdays, ever. Not really, just a concept. Now one week in the day and week at the end of it. Maybe them to tug at their sleeves simultaneously would have ended it. Love language. In my younger days, sometimes I would act of service. Didn't matter if I knew I couldn't do it. And even now, I haven't stopped. So I kind of expect her to do the same. Because lessons I learned from life from 5 taught me love is responding valiantly to unreasonable requests. At least love when it's at its best. Knowing I was one of 2 children living in a solo parent home wasn't enough to get my dad to get his act together. More time, he would just acts of service. But play pretend doesn't pay the bills. We had our boiler on chill, heating on freeze. Providing was lax, I was hoping for a lapse in inconsistency like sitting on knees. But maybe he was going through his own shit. Maybe he felt like Nightshade, Cosmic Curtain, and thought closer to muffle his son. Maybe someone told him the best way to show your love is to hide your heart. Maybe you heard if you water your seed, you realize there are demons in the flower. Despite needing the petals, he couldn't see the breadcrumbs for the lies. Hansel and Gretel is his demons that led him there. Yeah, fair. Maybe he didn't want to give me the wrong idea. Didn't want to risk it. Pretending at distance, but what takes the biscuit is still play pretend doesn't pay the bills. Umi was doing all right, but she was in credit. I wish he would have rehearsed those direct debits instead of acting in cursive. He could enhance her. Flash forward to cancer, hospital visits, he was going through nurses. I would curse his fate. Even when he couldn't mutter my name or muster an echo of his legacy to remember my face, somewhere inside of me would always whisper he deserved it. Through all the adult responsibilities he forced on me to fall between our older teens, beyond the cancer, the answer to the cue was he left me a lot to pick up. I learned the only way to not just act of service was even if it's too much, never actual service. She already knows she asks my acts if I often act out acts of service, love language. When it comes to gifts, there's a lot to unpack. Giving is one thing, but not receiving just isn't mine. My last love bought me a star, I never looked at it. Even when my love is burning a flame light, I'm sure I don't deserve it. Even if she brought breath and I had just lost my even if she brought breath and I had just lost my lungs, I would hoard her air till the dust settles in its shadow and figure a way to breathe with something else. Receiving gifts just feels too much like receiving help. And receiving help always felt too much like a blessing. So I still feel like a curse to the ones I love. Which poses the question, are curses deserving of blessings? It never stopped being recession in my house. We never gave gifts. Couldn't even trap a mouse with cheese. So when she asks what she can get me for my birthday, I tell her I'm yet to figure a way to stop it feeling like a sin to receive. Love language, A for anguish. Never any props that I pay for bandwidth. I was making Jamaican bread so my sister could know the sandwich. I even let them bump my cheese. Jeans. I do so much behind the scenes. I leave without the applause, cause. The effect is better. My beneficiaries aren't in debt to my kindness. So in lasagna, I just move in silence to the tune of silent admiration. And what's worse than words of affirmation to a self-loather yet to share his sins? I've gilded birds for decoration. I slaughtered herds of adulation. 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 4 for the boy. Last word I remember my dad saying is sorry. When he died, my mum told me to stop blaming myself. My granddad told me not to cry, and I didn't tell my friends. Somewhere along the line, I convinced myself not to convey my hurt was the best way to convey my love. So I move in silence like the P in receipt, like the A in critically, like the I in business, like the N in autumn, somewhere between all the pitter patter of rain, all that silence spells pain. I weep in silence, I win in silence, I lose in silence, I love in the same. My mother taught me how to hold my tongue so well I forgot how to let go. In my mind, there are echoes of things she said to hurt my heart. Burned. I've nothing left to affirm. Then this honey asks, if you're a poet, how come you got communication problems?
Say it again. Say it again.
Then this honey asks, if you're a poet, how come you got communication problems? I said, baby, that's why I'm a poet. To me, it's just easier to suffer and write it down, rather than conversations with the painful. I hold all my silence in sleep. I relive nightmares. I even collect trauma in dreams. Then the words in my mind already affirm all of these beliefs. Love language. For our parents, we learn how to love, whether we're going to rise in or bow to love, later or now to love. I've been writing this page for miles. One could argue a person's love languages are the things they scribbled as a child, make notes of ways to do and don't and ought to seem. Emotionally, I'm operating, living outside my means. And man, I just love women too much, you see. My real problem is too much is never enough for me. I got a sex addiction. I gotta like it when she texts addiction. I gotta like it when she stretch addiction. I gotta like it when she sends me them exhibitions. If I can make her feel good on the inside, it doesn't matter how I feel on the inside, as long as she tells me she loves my bandwidth. Those words of hers, I just really love language. That's it.
Come through with the bars and the motions of the oceans. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. I feel like it's just, yes, triggering, yes, 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 it's true. But I just feel like we get the journey. You just really explained it really well. And I always say this to all of the poets that come up on the stage. Like, I feel like it's no small feat to perform your poems. Like, even if you've been doing it for years and years, to do it, you deserve a congratulations and a thank you. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Because finger snaps all the way. What can we expect for your future? If I had a magic wand, I'm a manifester.
Okay, okay.
So if you say it on the stage, it's going to come to pass anyway. But if I had a magic wand and I could make anything come to pass, what would you want to, like, where would you see yourself in like 5 years, for example?
5? That's
5.
far. I was thinking like 5 months. 5 years.
A lot can happen in 5 years.
A lot's gonna happen in 5 years. I'd say I'll be doing like solo shows, you know, be like on tour,
Yes.
you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Headliner.
Headliner, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget us yet.
I won't-
Yeah, you're part of the family now. Thank you so much.
Come on.
You know, you have to plug yourself if you ever need a host.
Yeah, I'll shout you.
Thank you so much.
Discuss rates.
Oh yeah. It says, I just hope you have budget. That's all. Awesome. Okay, so as I ask every feature, if you could spend 24 hours with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Any person.
Anybody.
Yo, 24 hours. I don't know, like Noah, maybe?
Noah from the Bible.
Yeah.
Stop that, please. Why? We've had Jesus before, but never Noah. Why Noah?
I think Noah was more of an interesting character.
Interesting.
Like, bro, man had everything on one boat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did you
2
do
by
it?
2.
2 by 2? Like, how big was the boat? How did you build a boat? If everyone died, what did you do after that? Like, there's so many questions that I need answered. So,
Fair enough.
I'd say Noah, yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. That's a really, like, that's not, I don't know if you could tell. I just know what I was
It's not what I was expecting either. It just came to me. I was like,
But you know what? If that's what Spirit said straight away, then that's your answer. Okay, Noah.
Noah was like, yo, bro, it's me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Where can we find you at Just Ore?
So, yeah, I've got 2 Instagrams. I got
Please,
Just Ori as my Instagram, but I'm also trying to have one app across all platforms. And some kids got TikTok for Just Ori. Some idiot who's not using it's got it for Twitter. So it's a bit long. So I've made not Just Ori, because I'm not Just Ori, you know. I'm a bit more than that. So that is all platforms, not Just Ori. You can find it.
Amazing. Please give it up. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for jumping into conversation with me.
My pleasure.
We really appreciate it. And welcome to the Poetry and Me family.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh, okay, guys. We usually hug at the end. Give it up for Just Story, please.